First up, let's look at the times that players yelled at their own teammates for making errors. Trevor Bauer did just that after his future Hall of Fame Diamond mate Joey Votto dropped a throw to first base. Was this a terrible looking play? For sure, but you just don't do that to a guy who's been in the league for that long and made as many big plays for the Reds as he has, especially when this was Bauer's first and only season in Cincinnati. But at least it was understandable that that play was extremely easy, unlike this one that Joe Panik made a throwing error on versus the Yankees. Ross Stripling was the pitcher who gave up what could have easily been deemed an infield hit, being that Panik had to barehand it to even make it close at first. Yet, despite the difficulty of this play, Stripling still slammed his hands into the ground and screamed at Panik. To me, this one's even more disrespectful, because Joe at this point in his career was holding on to some kind of utility role, meaning that more than likely this wasn't any kind of lack of focus, just a simple physical mistake. Our next play may not have been as hard, but the reaction from the pitcher was much worse. Carlos Zambrano gave up a ground ball to Juan Pierre to lead off the bottom of the first inning against the White Sox. Derek Lee at first base couldn't quite get his glove on the bouncing ball, allowing Pierre to reach. The White Sox would go on to score 4 runs in the inning, with the frame actually ending on a ground ball to, funny enough, Lee. Zambrano received the throw and then stomped on the bag as hard as he could. Already that would have been enough to make the vid, but then he proceeded to freak out in the dugout with his anger aimed squarely at Lee, who was obviously somewhat peeved at the whole situation. Just look at how angry he is. It's not like Lee gave up the 3-run home run that was the big blow of the inning. Now, how about a couple times players handled equipment in the dugout in such a way that could have easily injured teammates? Starting first with Josh Donaldson, who threw his bat after striking out versus the Yankees, only to then get into a verbal altercation with his own manager. Yikes. However, this pales in comparison to the violence that David Ortiz enacted on this bullpen phone back in 2013, after a bad call versus the Orioles. Teammate Dustin Pedroia was right next to him on the bench, and could have easily been hit by the rogue swings of Big Papi. He told him as much after. Lastly, watch Wade Davis, then of the Royals, spit on Salvador Perez's cleats after a successful save. While we don't know what caused this altercation, we can say pretty easily that it's a horrible look to present to the public, to disrespect your teammate in this way, regardless of whatever the background situation was.